Yeah, we've been doing some spicy ones these weeks, haven't we,
Yeah,
Angel?
yeah, I like that. And I hope, everyone listening, you are enjoying it and as much as we do, or even more. Is that possible?
I don't know. So what are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to talk about a topic I think that's really important to talk about because it's a given on the path. It's the growing pain, or the
Yeah.
pain of stepping into the ancient ways from where we are at in the world we're living in, and also that is given in that path, even if it was 1,000 years ago, that was already there, the growing pain. So
You know,
I'll let you start, Marita, on this one, if you wish.
hmm, yeah. One of my teachers said something that really stayed with me once, and they said, Marita, this planet that we're living on is volatile. Like it's very volatile. And it can be very in that volatility because it's not attached to things. It can be hard and violent at times. And how it has chosen as a planet to evolve, to grow, and to change.
Hmm.
So we're on a planet that has chosen a way to evolve that is volatile and challenging. And even the planet itself as a consciousness is going through growing pains and has decided that that's how it wants to learn. Well, if you're living on a planet like that, that means everything created from that consciousness will have as part of it growing pains, a volatility to it, a challenge to it. And it's because this planet doesn't really look at life and death or challenges the way that we do, that humans do. Going back to the conversation you and I had a few weeks ago, it's not human centric. So if you decide to walk a path, the path of this planet, of how it changes, grows, and evolves, which is the path of deep love for this being that nurtures us, heals us, provides for us, to be in deep relation, then that path will be challenging because by its nature of how it creates, how it is in a consciousness evolution, it picked a challenging one. And as my teacher says, this planet, this consciousness is perfect because it's not too hot, not too cold. It has enough pressure to create change, to make it uneasy enough for things to want to evolve, right? Or to evolve. And so if you just kind of strip it down to that, it just kind of makes sense that a spiritual path or a path of any relationship with this being is going to be challenging. And I think what's challenging even more so, or the heartbreak that humans set themselves up for, is to tame this planet, to tame the spiritual path, to tame themselves from their wildness. Yet it is wildness that is what changes, grows, and evolves.
Hmm.
And so I think part of that pain, a big pain, there's a natural pain, the natural growing pains, natural birth pains of anything, right? We experience them. But the pain on top of that is this, again, going back to another of our conversations, human centric idea of what things should be or what things should look like.
Hmm.
Taming the sacred from its wildness.
Hmm.
What about you, Angel?
Yeah, when I think of the growing pain and the pain on the path, I'm thinking a lot about transformation and rite of passage.
Mm-hmm.
And if you grow up in a native community, it was contextualized. There was a context to that pain. The rite of passages, the ceremonies. I'm thinking Sundance. I'm thinking Vision Quest. You will be put in order to grow through the fire. You will be put in potentially life-threatening situation. There is this rite of passage for teenagers in the Amazon where the young boy is sent in the forest to survive for months alone. He's not sent with anything. He's not sent with a rifle. He's not sent with shelters. He's not sent with food. And there is a knowing in the community and in the family that that boy might not return. And if he's not returning, it means he was not ready to evolve. He was not capable of becoming an adult. But they don't want to have non-adult in the tribe. They want people that are capable to relate to that natural world. And so you're confronted and be put in that world and learn to confront your fears, to confront your vulnerability. I mean, in the Amazon, you're food for a lot of things. You're not on top. You're not the center anymore, right? And you're learning respect. If you're confronted with death and if you're confronted with poisonous plants and things like that, you're learning respect and relationship with those beings. In our Western world, we are of comfort. And very much with what you were saying, I love that very much. When we have comfort, there is no growing anymore. If you're sheltered from how to get water, you just open your tap, right? It's right there. You don't have to really understand water that much. You don't have to know where it's coming from. You don't have to really even wonder where it's going down the drain, because you open it and it's there. And it's drinkable to a certain degree. So comfort kind of shelters us from the natural world, from wilderness, but it also shelters us from our wilderness because it confines us into that place. And then because spirit is wise and because we are designed for transformation, basically the rite of passage wants to happen. That's what my teacher told me. So it doesn't matter if it's present in your system or not. It will burst through you. It will want to happen. Then you're hit by a midlife crisis, by a big event. Something's going to happen. It could be an illness to confront you with something that's going to break your heart. That's going to make you feel vulnerable. That's going to make you feel fears. Because we're designed by that system. It's kind of embedded into us. And indigenous communities knew that. That's why they put people through it, because they knew it was better if he was held in the context of culture, held in the context of certain rituals, held in the context of a community and elders. There is preparation. Just go at 12, 13 years old in the forest. That was 12, 13 years old of learning from your elders. So you're maturing slowly but surely into that. And so very often our relationship to pain, even when we've done, I think, depths of work, maybe in the spiritual path, very often it's like there is something wrong. There's something to be fixed. It should not be like that. And we have painkillers, right? So we have things that prevents somehow to be in relation to it. As soon as it show up, we have a thing, so it goes out the door. We not have rituals, ceremonies, rite of passages, aside maybe from women birthing their child. That's kind of one of the last one. And even that, today it's been so medicalized. I think that more than 60 or 70% of the children in the United States are born through C-section and with, anesthetic and epidural. So even that pain is not considered normal. It's medicalized. It's removed from the experience. And so that was kind of one of the last one that we could not avoid, right? Birthing a child for women and the pain of a child going through the birth canal. But to me, it says a lot as an image of what we've been doing on every other aspect of the Western world where pain has been pushed out. We even pushed out the growing pain of the system, the growing pain of society. So if you're an addict, if you're, you're basically revealing there is a problem in the system, you're pushed away. Right? You put in the system that gets you out of the way of what it looks like with a lot of makeup when it's really beautiful. So we don't see the suffering voices. We don't hear them. They are outside, and we built walls to our borders. We pushed out the suffering because we refuse it, not only internally for our own beings. We don't see it as a teacher. We don't see it as a potential of transformation and evolution like the earth does, but we also push it out of our systems and society, and often circles, right? There's a certain limit sometimes to what is acceptable or not. And there is no evolution, there is no transformation without it. It's just not the way the whole thing is designed. And the earth know it. She has storms and earthquakes and volcanoes. I mean, you know that, you're in Hawaii. And you know that somehow those events, when the big volcano arises and the land is stripped away with lavas, this is potential for renewal from fertile lands in 10, 20 years down the line. The earth knows that there is this necessity to crack open, to change things, to unsettle the way things are. And yet we're trying to control every aspect of it with dam on our rivers so we don't have floods, with many, many things. Obviously, it's not working because we are fighting against something that's way more powerful, but we have been trying somehow to contain that wildness, to contain that. And we are children in adult bodies. We were talking about it earlier. We haven't had the necessary rite of passage to be really comfortable with our own wildness, to be comfortable with ourselves, and to be comfortable with each other wildness. And that's painful, if you ask me. That's another kind of pain. It screamed differently in the body, in the spirit. It definitely screamed very differently. So I want to put that in perspective and finish by that. Yeah, there is the growing pains of transformation, but there is a deadly pain of non-transformation that might not look as painful. It might look like as a very social, alcoholized, caffeinated kind of being, very distracted. But, maybe some people see that. You can see the pain that is there. You can feel it, the pain of the soul that's not evolving, the pain of this body that is trapped into an old version of themselves that has never grown.
That's why the idea of saviorship is, the cheapest lie up there. And it'll take the most from you. It's the cheapest one to sell, and it costs you the most because then you're stopping your transformation and you're giving it to someone else who knows what they're going to do with it. So, yeah, it's We are interesting creatures. We are interesting creatures. And I hope that we can find ways to meet the edges of our existence, which includes pain, bodies aging includes pain, life is pain, right? No pain, no gain, but to not demonize it, to not overindulge in it as well, to not create it for others. But there's something natural about this planet that must be experienced, must be felt. It's why it's there. It's there for a reason. Things are there for reasons. And this is for evolution. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing what you did today and this week. I think such an invitation again, as people keep talking about rewilding, what it really means. What it really means is to be out there, and see if we can go through this rite of passage that humans are on right now. I hope that we can do it. I hope that we can do it. Thank you.
One way or another, we're going through it.
Yeah. Whether you're conscious or unconscious of it.
Like it or not, willing or not, knowing or not, it's happening.
It's there, yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marita.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.